YouTube, what's up? We've got episode 6 of Token Talk. I'm going to go live here with Spaces. We're going to rock it out today. Looking forward to it. So give me a moment. We'll get cooking here on X, and we're going to have some fun today. Or tonight, or whenever you're tuning in, because this is living live on YouTube. Bam. All right, we got some music to get started here with Token Talk episode 6. All right, what's up? Hey, chat, I can see you joining in right away. That's amazing. GM, GN, GD, whatever works for you. Welcome back to another episode of Token Talk. This is episode 6. Today we're going to crack some charts. Alpha might run deep. And yeah, the memes never sleep because I know that's what everybody shows up for. I'm definitely here and excited to share. I am your host, Dan is Driven. You can find me obviously here on X, and we are videotaping this for those who are on YouTube. So you can find me over on X. It's Dan is Driven. What's up, Alpha? I see you there. I see you've requested. We've got Alpha here, who is our meme whisperer and definitely our community builder. He's the one that carries the show. What's up, Alpha? How you doing?
What's up, gang? How are you?
Doing amazing, man. Just getting started today. Obviously, we know the Bitcoin whales obviously have risen from the deep, to say the least. Can I say billions are going to start moving? And we've officially obviously got Q3 underway, which doesn't seem like we're in Q3 because July obviously still seems like the summer, but we're headed into the fall time right around the corner. So
there's a lot of exciting things going on.
Yeah. How are you?
I feel like these wallets have really been driving the speculation recently.
Man, that's actually like all I'm excited to talk about today is the speculation around that. Obviously, I'll do a little bit of a market rundown in a bit, but I think, while we're doing the little introductions here and we're waiting for a few people to join on in, let's speculate a little bit on that Alpha. What do you think on that? What was it? 14 and a half years of dormant, I want to say 8,000, but I think it was it 80,000 worth of Bitcoin moving? Yeah, it's 80,000.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot. It was over multiple wallets.
Yeah.
So I think a few of the clues are, one, this person is really familiar with Bitcoin and has done a lot of Bitcoin transactions. This is not their only wallet. Because to have the confidence in the Bitcoin network to do $1 billion transaction in one move speaks to them moving crypto frequently.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm going to say what's up as well as we're getting started here to Mr. Goldrobes and Chang Money as well. So Mr. Goldrobes definitely brings the macro lens approach, if you will. and he is our deep thinker. And Cheng Money obviously contributing to what we got going on here. He's our market wizard, and Money Cheng in the house. So I'm going to add these guys here as well to speak. I've got a list of things I wanted to sort of chat about today. Obviously, Alpha and I started talking about the Bitcoin whales because I think that's what everybody's really excited about. We've got a few charts to share as well, and we're going to go through that. But obviously, Q3 is officially underway. We are looking, are those Bitcoin whales or gonna start moving? Obviously, the bulls to wake up here, or is this kind of a little bit of a shakeout that we're dealing with? We're going to talk about that today. Obviously, before we kick off, you want to keep your ears open. We were able to arrange, a nice little setup for today, and I know that people saw this already on X as well, but we do have words of wisdom from friend of the show, Michael Saylor, coming a little bit later in the space. So you're going to want to lock in, grab your notepad, and we're going to have a fun ride today. But let's do some introductions here. Mr. Goldrobes, Cheng Money, what do you guys got to share besides these Bitcoin whales? Because I know that's going to be the main topic for today. We got those guys? No? Okay, well, I'm moving on then. Let's talk about the market rundown. I've got some price up here. We've been, doing...
I don't think they're speakers yet. I think they're still listed as listeners.
I've added them as speakers. Maybe we'll try this one more time. But I've added them as speakers. We can go through that. While we're going through that and inviting them as speakers, why don't I do a rundown of what we've been kind of talking about for the entire token talk. I mean, we're on episode 6 here. We've been kind of doing a rundown of the weekly charts on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, SUI. So let's do those, and then we're going to hear from Cheng Money and Mr. Goldrobes on their thoughts on the markets for the week. Right now, we are looking at, for Monday, July 7th, we've got Bitcoin at $108,030, which is pretty crazy. Over the last week, we haven't seen much movement of it. Obviously, it's been ranging a little bit, but sitting at just under 1% for the week. Ethereum's been cooking along and still at that $2,500, sitting at $2,534, just down under 2%, or just actually up over 2% for the week and down just under 1% for the 24 hours. Looking at Solana, still kicking around that boring zone of 150, sitting at 149.04, down 3.5% for the week and down just 1.5% for the day. So wrapping them up with the water token that is SUI, and that's sitting just below $3 at $2.85, up 2.8% for the week. I think we were sitting right around $2.80, and it's been hovering right around there. So Cheng Money, if you want to pop on in here and say what's up, I'd love to hear from you. How you doing? I'm assuming your device is all charged up and you're ready to go.
Hey, what's up, Dan? What's up, everybody? Glad to be here for another week. Can you all hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear, man.
All right, yeah. I was having some technical difficulties. But Bitcoin, you always say we're above 100,000, which, nobody really even thought of like a couple months or a year back, We're still holding above 100,000. We're doing super good, but there is a lot of bullish news going around, which leads me to be cautious. Looking at Bitcoin, it's hard to say exactly where we're going right now. But looking at the USDT dominance chart, which I always bring up, I would lean towards Bitcoin and crypto going lower for now. That's just my view at the moment.
Cheng, what do you think Bitcoin was at a year ago, this time last year?
Definitely a lot lower. Let me check actually, because
I got it up here.
tell
I
us?
want to hear your ballpark wild ass guess at it.
All right, let me not look. This time last year, 50,000.
Pretty close, man. 56,000, 665 a year ago this time. So I think. Oh, go ahead.
I remember us, climbing and then going lower and climbing and going lower. It was a roller coaster last year.
I think one of the things we want to look at too is as we're going into 2025 too, when we're looking at Bitcoin quarterly returns and Ethereum quarterly returns, as we're going into Q3, if I would have, we talked about this on a couple of the other token talks, but if I would have told you a year ago that, when we were sitting at 55, 56K, that we would be, hovering right around 107, 108K, I don't think anyone would have believed that a year ago. And looking at Bitcoin quarterly returns, when we're looking, coming off a halving season, 2021 were 25% for Q3, 2020 were 17%. If we go back to 2017, which this model is very, very, aligned with, Bitcoin is up 80% for Q3. And then when we look at Ethereum as well, going into Q3 2021, we're up 31, almost 32%. So things look bullish, obviously, as we're going into the summer. But you said lower. Why do you say lower?
I don't want to say we're going to tank per se, but for quite a while I've been eyeing some levels to buy heavily. So it's not that I 100% or even with high probability think we're going to go there. It's just levels that I'm looking to really buy a lot at.
Getting things at a quick discount. Mr. Goldrobes, it's good to see you. I would love to give you a quick intro and say what's up. And as we're doing that, a quick reminder to everybody listening, share this space, click that bottom right purple pill, comment on this space, follow up these speakers. Obviously, if you're getting value, don't lurk, interact. I want to see you guys drop a like, ask some Qs in the comments. We are scanning them. And if you have anything you want to say to Michael Saylor, or more importantly, Mr. Goldrobes, you have the forum to do it here. So, Mr. Goldrobes, how you doing? How are things going on a Monday for you?
Hey there, how are you guys? I'm glad again to be here in this not a podcast. I don't know how to call this, but these spaces. And well, the community in general on crypto are like, why is this so quiet? Why nobody's talking? Like, very excited about crypto. And I tell them that this is exactly the most important moment in the cycle for anyone, because they will be, they will be surprised when everything starts to really pump, like really hard. These are the moments where you have to be very optimistic, very hyped, instead of like waiting for those got green candles to be excited about. So we are in the perfect moment, in the perfect place, and I am so excited for the future of this space.
I couldn't agree more, man. I'm gonna take that sort of segue over to Renzo. We've got Renzo here to speak today, which is amazing. Renzo, how you doing, man? How are you feeling? Bullish as everybody else, or are you feeling a little bearish this week?
What's going on, bro? It's good to be here. I've been a little busy market making. You know how it is.
I think that's awesome, man.
Uncle.
Good for you.
Yeah, man. But yeah, bro. Honestly, I don't think I'm either bullish or bearish. I'm just kind of waiting to react to see what the market gives us. And if I had to say, like if I had to, have a bias, I would lean just a very, very slightly towards bearish, just because we're kind of trading in the premium range, and unless we decisively break the all-time high and close above it, then we can, we can say like, hey, okay, we might be in the super cycle mode right here, but as of right now, until that point, I'm saying we probably, take some liquidity up above and then visit the mid 90s. But don't get me wrong, I think if we do visit the mid 90s, that's actually bullish as fuck, because if we make accumulation ranges in that zone, then yeah, bro, that'll give us enough fuel to, get into deep price discovery.
Mid 90s.
This is how I'm playing it.
Could you? I love it, man. I fully embrace that. A few months ago, I would have been, shaking from that statement. But I think, like you said, finding those opportunities and finding those plays are there. And I think a mid 90s. I know I can see Huan reacting to this huge. Mid 90s Bitcoin would cause some. Capitulation for sure on a lot of alts and for sure on memes. Like, we see Bitcoin move like $1,000 and memes almost bottom out. So be some incredible buying opportunities ahead.
Yeah, and like also, that's like I can't predict the future. Like that doesn't even have to happen. I'm just saying if it does, then yeah, like you said, it'll provide us with some great opportunities for sure.
Unlocking another level of like the approach of just taking the market as it is, as opposed to what you want it to say, is a big thing. Man, you're definitely clicking on a high level, and I posted actually today talking about, looking at the markets, you want to look at discipline over emotion, right? And process over outcome. And the way you explain that is exactly to a T how we should be treating the markets right now. So that's next level, man. Good on you.
I think it's also important to.
How you guys been? Go ahead. Sorry, man.
Oh no, you're good. I think it's also important to consider like when predicting Bitcoin price, it's important to look at like what.
Oh, we lost you, Alpha.
Right, like there's a lot of people who are just going to try to trade the range, and
Alpha, can you repeat that? We lost you for a moment. Elon was taking a quick smoke break.
At least me personally, I've never sold my Bitcoin. My idea with Bitcoin is continue to accumulate as long as I can. But and I think that might, if I'm being honest, that affects my outlook, right? Because I don't really care if I'm buying Bitcoin at 100K, 90K, or 110K if my 10-year base case is it's going to $1 million.
Yeah, I think I got sort of the summary of that. You cut out a little bit. I don't know if everyone heard that, but I think at the end of the day, and we've talked about this lots here virtually and also in person, it's not going to matter, I think, when we're buying Bitcoin at 86K, 90K, 95K, 107, 892K. Like you said, Alpha, when it's at $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million in a few years, or 5 years, 7 years, however long that is, looking at a long-term scenario with it and just stacking as much as you can and dollar cost averaging with your purchases is never a bad thing. Yeah, let's shift. I want to talk about, Alpha, what we were talking about there before everybody joined. And I know a big topic of discussion on crypto Twitter and a few things that we've shared up, but I did a whole deep dive thread on it, and I'm going to share it up in the Jumbotron right away. But if anyone is unfamiliar of what kind of happened over the last few days, but 80,000 Bitcoin out of nowhere, so they've been dormant for almost 14 and a half years, started to move. So Alpha, do you want to talk about that a little bit? I'm going to share up in the Jumbotron the thread that I did, and let's talk about maybe some bullish positions. I don't know if you can be bearish about it, but I think looking at the amount of volume that those Bitcoin whales have, there can be some black swan events that could come up from this. But does anyone want to share what their whole thoughts are on this Bitcoin move of 80? I thought it was 8,000, but it's 80,000 Bitcoin.
I mean, I've heard a few theories on it. The most plausible is that one of the plausible theories is that they're trying to move it to a safer wallet, right? Like, if most people who have owned Bitcoin for that long, there weren't a lot of standard custody features. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was on someone's laptop and they're like, oh, I have this really old laptop. Who knows when this thing is going to die? Might as well move it. Like, that's plausible. But I think the biggest hole in that theory is, why would they, if they really cared about security, why would they move it all at once? And again, if they cared about security, why would they move it all into one wallet? Why not distribute it across multiple wallets?
Yeah, I think there's something that could happen
like
from the institutional side of it that I could be speculating, but I think there's some big institutional moves that we could see with nearly $10 billion worth of Bitcoin moving here.
I mean, this could have been an OTC deal, and we just didn't know, right? Like, this could very easily just be someone selling to like an oil baron in Dubai for $1 billion in cash. But again, like, what? It's interesting, like, what compels somebody to sell now, right? Like, how could you have so much conviction to hold all the way up to $1 billion and then sell now? Like, why not hold it up to 10 billion, right? Like, if you're just looking for generational wealth, you had that a 10th ago, which makes me think that, this is definitely not their only wallet. If I had to bet money on who it is, I think it's Ross Ulbricht.
Yeah, you
Like,
shared that on.
Sense.
Yeah, you shared that on a post today, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, I think it's in our group chat if you want to put it up there.
I just actually popped it on the Jumbotron. We're on it, man. The producers are winning today.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I think it's probably Ross. That would make the most sense. Right, like, I don't think it could be understated how much of the how much Bitcoin adoption Silk Road single-handedly brought to the space. It was the first use case, and it was arguably like the most tangible use case Bitcoin has ever had.
And it happened before, like, any. We can thank social media for the movement of information, but it happened before any, like, really social media took off. Like, when you look at the timeline, 2011, that's before Instagram, obviously before TikTok, before, like, even if you want to say, like, Twitter or Facebook were something that we use to communicate with on a hyperactive basis, right? So I think there's something to be said about the timeline with it, and definitely interesting to see what really happens from it. But I think, like you said, it could be something as simple as, an OTC deal, or maybe even just like a ETF backing, when we're looking at it, or maybe we're looking at some sovereign nation accumulation here. Like, there's some big things that can be done with nearly $10 billion worth of Bitcoin.
Well, the elephant in the room is that it was a hack, right? Like, it could have been someone's wallet got compromised. It could have been that someone lost a wallet and then it got recovered. I mean, how do we know it's not that guy who... I saw a theory that said it was the guy whose wife, like, threw away his laptop, and he bought the local landfill, and he's, like, continually been searching for this laptop. Like, maybe he finally found it.
Yeah, I think that was 8,000 Bitcoin that guy lost. If anyone heard about that story, I know Crypto Banter shared that story, and I met that guy at Bitcoin Vegas. Crazy story from it. For anybody here,
you met the guy who lost the 8,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah, Fefe Demene from Crypto Banter was interviewing him, and I was in the media lounge. And quick little backstory for everyone listening here: there was a gentleman that I'm not sure if it was a laptop or if it was like a hardware wallet that got thrown out in a landfill, and he's essentially been trying to petition the county to try to get it, and it didn't happen. So he essentially, from my understanding, CTO'd the landfill, and now he's trying to raise funds to get this hardware wallet or this laptop and recover the Bitcoin, and then he's going to share a portion of it among anyone who's backing it. Is that my full understanding of it, or partial understanding of what's going on with it?
Does he have any more Bitcoin? Because this happened a long time ago too. Like, the interesting thing to me about all these sort of, this guy lost so much Bitcoin early on, is somehow the stories never turn around and be like, and then he just bought more, right? Like, all these stories have been around for so long. Like the pizza guy, the guy who we've had Bitcoin Pizza Day for how many years? Like, if that guy just accumulated Bitcoin like a decent amount of Bitcoin every single time that someone brought up the anniversary of his pizza day, he'd still be rolling in it today. It's just the fact that we're always like sort of focused on the past. But these stories like still accumulate. Like, if he was just like, yeah, joke's on you, the year after I bought way more. Like, we never talk about it because it's like, oh, this guy's he's still like a early Bitcoin guy with more Bitcoin than 99% of holders.
Oh, I totally agree. And I think, like, with the timing of everything, it could very much be coincidence. But when you look at, obviously, you know, we were in Bitcoin Vegas 6 weeks ago, and, you know, you talk about Ross Ulbricht and his ending keynote speech and the timing of everything. It all could just be a coincidence. But I do think, you know, as we're looking at Q3 here, 2025, and we're going into Q4, there is, I don't know for sure, but I don't think it is a coincidence that everything is lining up in this way. What is everyone else saying? Mr. Goldrobes, Cheng Money, what do you guys feel about right now with what's going on with that Bitcoin movement?
You start, Cheng.
All right. Yeah, so as I was saying earlier, you know, there's a lot of big news dropping. Bitcoin had the highest weekly close last week. You know, there's big wallets moving. There's a lot of big things happening. A lot of accounts here on X that are, you know, bull posting and making a big deal out of all of these things, which usually just makes me cautious in the market. Makes me think that there are some market makers or big players behind the scene that are probably looking to sell. Yeah, that's usually my take when there are like big news events and big things being announced on Twitter.
I think one of the things that we could sort of take of this, like, we could speculate as much as we want, but, like, I mean, if we want to look at this as like wild speculation, obviously, like, if we look at the timing of everything, Bitcoin was launched, you know, arguably during a financial crisis in 2009, just after the 2008 stock market crash. Here in 2025, we're almost on the verge of another one, whether that's kind of debate or not. But what if kind of these movements are less about like a warning kind of, but this is sort of like we're seeing the financial system finally about to break, and this is the heads up that buy Bitcoin or you're gonna get left behind. I think, you know, we could speculate on the wild side of it, but there is some truth to what's happening with that.
Well, to tie it back into one of our previous episodes, this could be someone getting a Bitcoin loan. Right? They could be depositing this as collateral for a loan. Because you have $1 billion. And we did see at the Bitcoin conference, there are loan desks that'll cut you a loan up to $1 billion in Bitcoin.
Yep.
So it could really just be someone trying to solve the hodler's dilemma.
And that's where
right?
we
like
look at
have you're sitting on $1 billion, and you realize at some point you want to spend it. You want to live like a billionaire, but you don't want to sell it. Like that's functionally the only way that you could get away with that.
I don't disagree with that. I think there's a lot of speculation that we can have from it, but at the end of the day, you know, we're going to see how it plays out. But everything that we've been talking about is like speculation can kind of become like, you know, the infrastructure, like the roadmap of what's actually happening. I think it's kind of funny to think about it that way, but there is some truth behind that. So Mr. Goldrobes, I know that you had shared something today on Ethereum. I'm going to share it up here in the Jumbotron. As we were talking there a lot about Bitcoin and the institutional side of it, do you want to share anything on Ethereum before we start talking about memes? Because really that's why everybody's here and only ever here.
For sure. Well, I say we talked about it like 2 weeks ago. It looks like almost the same, this chart, like, you know, for weeks, even like if the war or the whatever Donald Trump wanted to call this, but yeah, we are still like, I don't know how many weeks ago in the same range. And what it looks, with all these institutions grabbing all the Ethereum they can, like for example today there was like a very big swap from Bitcoin to Ethereum, and you know, it just looks like pure manipulation of the chart. I have never seen, or if you can tell me wrong, on the Ethereum chart, like this price action, this like very aggressive movements. I have never seen them on the chart of Ethereum like ever. I mean, I have not been here since day one, but you can see the chart, and there's have never been this kind of movements down this on this way, and it's purely like, I can say it and I can feel it, that they want to shake you out of your positions. They want to like liquidate all the leverage players, and for real, it's for me the one of the best moments ever since the last cycle for Ethereum. So, in my opinion, and it's not financial advice, but you better keep a track on the best tokens or meme coins or whatever you are doing on Ethereum. And I don't want to say buy this, buy that. No, you check yourself and bet on the best place that you think they are on Ethereum. Obviously, also bet on Ethereum, but if Ethereum goes way higher, those plays on Ethereum, on the blockchain of Ethereum, are going to like pump even way more. So that's something that we'll have to be watching. It's amazing. It's I am excited. I'm really excited about what's going on to be these next weeks, months, and obviously next year's.
I think that's pretty exciting as well, Mr. Goldrobes. And when you look at, you know, Ethereum quarterly returns, when we're looking back, obviously 2022, we saw 24% in Q3, 2021 was almost 32%. 2020 was almost 60%. And as we go into Q4, like we're seeing Q4s of over 100%, 142% back in 2017. So I think there's a lot of bullish scenarios that we're looking at either way, whether we're looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, or shifting gears for a second. Let's talk about meme coins real quick. And I want to sort of talk to all our speakers here. So I've got a breakdown for a lightning round for Mr. Goldrobes, Chang Money, and Alpha. I want you in as quick as you can summarize it. Tell me what meme coins are catching your attention this week. Give me a hot take on one, a token to watch, and one meme that's kind of going to define your month of July. But the key is you cannot talk about a meme that we've chatted about already. That's the trick here. Who wants to go first? Chang Money?
So on the spot, I can't really think of any memes that I'm really eyeing that I haven't mentioned before.
That's the point of this live show, man. I got to get your hot take.
I know Solana's heating up, a lot of activity on the chain. I mentioned to watch Mooncat. I didn't buy any Mooncat. Let me look at this one. USD UC, unstable coin. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of it. If not, it's been gaining a lot of attention. So what I noticed is there have been 4 little local tops for USD UC. Each time it drops, around 50%, and then it starts going higher, and it just recently dropped 50%. So if there was one for me to perhaps eye and start buying, that might be the one.
I like it. How about you, Mr. Goldrobes or Alpha? You guys got any memes you want to share or chat about?
Well, I would like to talk about, and I haven't spoke about it on these spaces, but it's worth to take a look on it, and it's part of this narrative of market memes, and I would like to talk about Mumu on Ethereum.
Yeah.
Mumu on Ethereum. Yeah, and it has been like 2 years from since it was deployed on the blockchain. The community are like every day posting and making memes. It's low cap, like 1.8 million market cap, but check the chart and it has it has attraction. It has like pumped ones, like when the euphoria of like Pepe and Bobo and all these market memes. But since Ethereum hasn't been making a lot of volume, well, it obviously the meme coins on this chain hasn't pumped, but there's this Mumu on Solana that was like everyone this is the real Mumu, but well, you can, well, for example, these next 4 days are like Pump Fund is going to launch their own token.
It's going to suck the liquidity out of everything, and it's going to be crazy.
Yeah. It's going to be fucking crazy, but we will see who are the strongest communities. On Solana, most of the liquidity is going to be extracted from there. So let's see how it goes for Mumu on Solana, which I respect the community. I don't say this or that, buy this or buy that, but or buy that. But Mumu on Ethereum is like one of my biggest conviction on this narrative from market memes. So check it out if you like the community, the memes, also the Bobo community, the Dodo community, Snibu community, which are all the same from the same narrative, are support on Ethereum, are supporting it. So I think it's worth of a look on that.
Nice, man. Thank you for sharing. I think anything on Ethereum, as we're looking at it, yeah, don't fade it. Just figure out how to get around the gas fees for sure. Alpha, how about you? Any hot takes on a meme coin or any meme coin that's going to define your month of July that you want to share for everybody listening?
I think Pengu is going to continue to keep climbing.
Oh, you stole mine, man. That's hilarious.
Yeah, great minds think alike, Dan. Pengu is going to keep climbing. The entire Pudgy Penguins ecosystem is going to continue to outperform the market broadly. Like in recent times, has been sort of suppressed. The attention has been elsewhere, but what do they say? In the short term, the market is a voting system, and in the long term, it's a weighing system, right? Like eventually, all the work that Luca Nets is doing is going to pay off.
Yep.
And we're going to see Pengu shoot past all-time highs. We're going to see Pudgy Penguins go back to a 50K floor. We're going to see Lil Pudgies go to a floor, probably 4 or 5 ETH. And interestingly enough, I think that rods are going to likely be the best asset to hold right now because they're so sort of unpredictable. No one really knows what they're going to do. Right now, we're in a weird space for the ecosystem because everyone's just waiting on that abstract airdrop. I think after that, we're going to get much more certainty around the ecosystem. But all in all, don't fade Pengu, don't fade Luca Nets.
Yeah, I actually...
For real.
The thing that you're talking about that, I added Pengu to my my AI agent since last Thursday. I do a weekly spaces with some of the Pengu guys, and since last Thursday, I've added it to my agent, and I've been tracking it literally every single day. So it's very funny that you brought that up, man.
Can you tell us more about your agent? I've seen you post about it. This is really interesting.
Yeah. Do we want a quick little update on it here? Yeah,
of course we do.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so I mean, it's good. It's not great. Essentially, what it has helped me do with day trading is I have pumped as much trading, journaling, if you will, into it over maybe 3 months straight. And it's just ChatGPT 40, and then I use the O3 as well for more advanced reasoning. But essentially, I've just loaded as much information into a chat that I've set up. I have models for SPX, Fartcoin, Popcat, Brett, now Pengu, like you mentioned, with Pepe, and then I added some, bigger caps with Solana and SUI. It's good. It gives you a lot of the information that you want to hear, but it also, for the risk management side of it, for me, because I day trade, allows me to not fall into the pitfalls that, whether it's complacency, whether it's just inexperience, whether it just be I just want to take trades just to trade it. That is where it has really helped me. It has really sort of taken my weekly sort of win rate from about 60 to 65% up to almost 90%, which is amazing, but it's only been 1 week, and the last week has been sort of dodgy in terms of the market. So I haven't got the full information, but essentially I just filled it up with as much trading strategy. So The TLDR of it, I'll give you sort of like the framework, and if anybody who's listening wants it or wants to hit me up about it, but essentially like the framework of it is it based on like indicators like bull flags, breakout and retests? Is it based on like volumes and heat maps? I sort of like went on all that and tried to pump it with as much technical information with that. And then obviously talking about like, for me, my key trading sort of windows are sort of the 1 minute and 5 minute. For me, that just works really well on my time frames. But based on the individual, you can adjust it for the time frame that you need. I also give it my average hold time per trade. Like, I don't like to hold trades for any longer than 5 to 10 minutes. So I've set it with, trying to scan and help me find entry points for holding tokens for under 30 minutes. And then again, even setting it for percent profit.
You use a 1 minute chart for a 5 to 10 minute trade?
Yeah, man. Hard mode.
Respect.
It's awesome, man. It used to be so overwhelming that I couldn't, like, it felt like you going into like picking up a video game and turning it on legendary that you've never played. But the more you spend on 1 minute charts, the more you realize they're the same as 5 minute charts, they're the same as 15-minute charts. They just move faster. So if you're identifying some of those breaks, or you're looking for like a confirmation of a movement in the chart, whether it be like on the 1 minute chart for SPX, you're going to see that movement, and you just have to, have the right entry and exit points. I don't know.
Dan, did you know that I trade on the 1 second chart?
Do you? Is there? Are you just?
When I'm trading. When I trade,
I wish I had the 1 second chart, but I don't pay for that version of TradingView.
I'm trading on Axiom, and most of the time, if I'm trading on like a new like pump fund token or something like that. Like any big name, I'm not going to day trade the SUI chart. I just think there's the bigger the market cap, the more people have like an informational advantage on it.
Always.
That's like really hard to. It's really hard to predict. It's like I was listening to a hedge fund manager talk about why they don't trade, why they only trade like smaller cap stocks, and they don't even put out guidance on like Apple. And they basically said that when you have a company of that size, in order to have an informational advantage in that stock, you would need something that bordered on insider information, right? Like, it's just, there's so many people speculating on it. The market is so efficient that it's very hard to get it right.
You're absolutely right, man. Yeah, you're totally right on. And I've seen that too. Like, I've had a lot of people ask me like why I trade SPX and why I trade Fartcoin and Popcat, and it's mainly because of the volume. And when you're looking at SUI and Solana, like the chart manipulation on that is evident across the board, but it does seem like those bigger tokens, there's less movement in it, but then there's spikes of volume that come out of nowhere that, like you said, unless you have that insider information or you know what's going on, it's a kind of an exercise in futility. So, real quick,
can we talk tactically really quick?
Yeah, of course. I'm just going to finish off with kind of my AI trading agent, because I made a quick note here about it. So essentially, like, it's good, not great. And if anybody wants guidance on it, I can help you kind of train your own. The main thing that I've noticed is it's kind of given me like a daily entry and exit rule that I can follow and stick by. And essentially, it's given me like a daily prep sheet for like Asia, Europe, and US markets. So I can, follow it along and just have a little bit more guidance for my entries and exits. So that's where it's been beneficial. So yeah, let's move on, man.
Yeah, I was just thinking, sort of serendipitously, off the script. If we know that the Saturday pump fund token is going to drain liquidity out of a large percentage of the market, which coins do we think are the most fad-like that would be wise to short going into Saturday? Like what just has the most financial tourists in it? Like
every token launched on Pump Fund to start with, because
we need something we can short. We need something that we can like go on Axiom and short.
I wouldn't dare to say any tickers, but maybe on OKX you can find them. Like they list like literally every pump fund token.
But I think when we're looking at this, pump fund might be good, but one thing that Alpha talked about there is some of those tokens that run a lot by what's going on in like the short-term news. So for example, this just got me an idea that I'm going to pump it into my AI agent. But you know, when you're talking about that, Alpha, I think of like Peanut, I think of Fartcoin, I think of some of those that are low fee as well. I don't think you could find somewhere that has it on perpetuals, but I think there's, you know, a few of those bigger, more like hype ones like Peanut the Squirrel, like Fartcoin, you know, to some extent.
Maybe like Sheeb.
Yeah, well, maybe not those ones, but maybe more like our Pepe's, more like our, sorry guys, but Brett. I think those would be good ones. Whiff, I think, would be a phenomenal one to short.
Oh, Whiff is a great one, actually.
Yeah. I think Whiff will...
You also need to just make sure that you're not, like, in a coin that's going to be defended by whales. Because, for instance, like, I'm in a group chat with a bunch of the Fartcoin whales.
Oh, yeah.
And they make it very clear that when there's a huge downturn, that they're willing to defend the price with their bags.
SPX, you'll see that too.
So it needs to be a coin with a lot of financial tourists, but sort of like a very decentralized community. I know that's a funny word to pick in crypto, but like a community where there's not going to be like a dip wheeler or someone who's going to be like, guys, don't sell your bags, don't fall for it. Like you need the chaos of it.
You need something like
you want to go for the short. That's a good one.
A Moodang would be like, when you're talking about the checklist for what that has, like Moodang would be one of those that I don't know anyone that's really backing it in terms of like a KOL. So
it can't be anyone's favorite coin. This has to be like a third coin this has to be like a stepchild coin.
Yeah, Moodang, we're now finding it. I think Moodang would be one of them. Potentially like Peanut the Squirrel for sure.
Yeah, something.
Could we
something
also
that has, and the floor can't be in on it either. Like it can't be a totally dead coin where it's like everyone you sold is already out. You know.
Could we also look at
there's
potential
high
like
volume.
Yeah, could we also look at potential like historic times of? I'm trying to think of like other times, but with like the DeepSeek that came in or other
Kanye
like
coin. I think that's a good example. Everyone was moving their bags around waiting for Kanye coin.
Yeah,
and nothing really happened.
Or Trump coin as well, or Melania.
We actually had didn't we have a Spaces or something around Kanye coin to just talk about the chaos of that? I remember you and I were talking about it. I don't know if it was the Spaces or just like we got on a call, but I remember we were like so.
I think it was a casual call that we had about
Kanye
it. Yes, I don't know if that was recorded on a Spaces. Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to look at this week what we could really identify as some like arbitrage options that we could really, short and benefit from it. So that's a really good approach there, Alpha. I'm glad that you had that. Does anyone else have any tokens that maybe we didn't talk about? Chang Money, Mr. Goldrobes, did we miss any there?
I think it's awesome, all the information that we are like giving here, and it's a better strategy to short those coins than to get involved in the pump fund token. That's the alpha.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Yeah. Anyone else have anything else they want to chime in for episode 6 of Token Talk, or should we wrap it up and say thank you to our panel here of Chang Money, Mr. Goldrobes, and Alpha? Obviously, all of you guys that have tuned in live, we really appreciate
Can I
this.
end it with a hypothetical
Yeah, man, I love.
for everyone?
Let's throw it out there for ending off July 7th's Token Talk. What do you got?
If you opened your wallet and you were one of the wallets with over $1 billion of Bitcoin, what would you do? Would you sell it all, or would you hold?
Me, I'm going to go first. I would take the Bitcoin backed loan approach that we've been talking about over the last little bit and put that to work for me. What would I do with it? I have no clue, because that amount of money is unfathomable. But I think Alpha, maybe I'd start by hosting a weekend party at Mike Tyson's villa and inviting every single one of the listeners here to it, and having a Brett party times 2.
I mean, if you already have that amount of money, it's a very different scenario. Like, I think you wouldn't even care about it. I really mean it. Like, if you're already like a 14-year-old holding or whatever, you have a lot of more investments on crypto, on the space, and I think like maybe holding, if you already hold it for so long, like you are already, like, your life is already, you don't have to worry about anything.
To talk on what I was saying, I would take that Bitcoin back loan and double down and buy like buy a minority or majority stake in a Premier League team and just go like all shithousery on it and crazy. That's what I would do.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good move.
How about you, Chang Money?
I mean, for me, like if that was like Mr. Goldrobe said, if you have that much in one Bitcoin wallet, you probably have other Bitcoin wallets, you probably have other crypto investments. But if that was all of it, I'd probably, take some lifestyle chips, take some and
take all the lifestyle chips with $1 billion.
I'd take a little bit. If you have that much, you'd want to keep some long term in Bitcoin, maybe some for the Bitcoin back loans, some lifestyle chips, some other investments. You just spread it out a bit.
How about you, Alpha? What would you do?
You're selling it all in one clip. No, no. I mean, I think I would. Yeah, I would take a lot of chips off the table, because my base case is that it's going 10x in 10 years, right? So if I 1/10 my position, if I took $900 million off the table and diversified it into other investments and went and, I don't know, bought my mom a ranch in Aspen and bought my friends some nice cars, like obviously I'd want to do that. I agree. I would help you host the Mike Tyson party times 2. I was actually thinking closer to times 4.
There
I
we
don't know
go.
if they had enough mermaids in the pool for my liking.
Or buy Mike Tyson's villa.
Potentially.
The amount of like quote unquote fuck you money that could be had with that amount of disposable income, you get really wild and creative for sure.
100%. I mean, I think my like flex for I'd want to own a minority stake in the Warriors. Like, I think that's I don't understand why Mark Cuban sold his stake in the Mavericks, because it's like after you cross a certain threshold, then it's like you don't you're stacking it for the status, not for the functional utility. And what's higher status than owning an NBA team? After that, you have to go like build a network state, try to own a country.
Yeah,
That's why all of them run for president.
I think once you get into that $1 billion, there's something to be said about, you know, buying a sports team or being a major player in any of the major sports. There's that flex that kind of comes with it. And I think I've joked about it with, you know, my token El Toro. If that hit $1, what I would do is, you know, go buy a footy team and then just like plaster the inside walls of the opposing team of their like VIP booths of your own token to just like to be in the face of everybody else. So I would put whoever the team that I bought is rivals against it, I would deck their entire VIP suites in our sponsored branded stuff. Like there's levels to that I think you could do that are ridiculous. So yeah, I digress.
The level of petty that you can achieve with billionaire status must just be incomprehensible.
Yeah. Well, hopefully some of us that are up on the speaking panel, or maybe a listener or two, will get to experience that if they hit on a meme coin run or something along those lines. So yeah, I wanted to thank everybody for obviously coming out today. If anyone has any alpha they want to share, pop it in the comments of this X spaces that you can see on the timeline. Make sure to follow these speakers, share up this space. It makes a difference overall. We are in the process of, you know, getting 1 or 2 guests, or if you know of any other tokens or any individuals that want to share their stories, I think it would be great. You know, last week we had Bitcoin Ranch come on, and something that I didn't expect to share on an X Spaces, so I think that was really cool. So if you want a space, or you know anyone else that wants to have a feature, obviously DM me up, and I think that's about it. And look at the time, and we ran out of time for Michael Saylor again. But I promise you guys, we'll try and get him on next time. Sorry, Saylor, we love you. You are a king. You've got to keep buying Bitcoin. And like Alpha said, I think you need to start buying more, because we're still only at 108K and we have not hit that all-time yet. So until next time, you guys, keep stacking. Obviously, stay sharp. Don't fade the memes. Like Alpha said, let's find some awesome narratives to short this week, because I think there's an opportunity there. And as we're going into Q3 of 2025, we're kind of just getting started with the crypto spaces, and I think there's some exciting times ahead. Thank you guys all for tuning in to this amazing spaces on Monday, July 7th. We'll see you guys next week for episode 7 already. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Later, fellas.
See you soon. And be ready. Be ready for the euphoria.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you guys for putting up with that. Hope it was not a boring show, but over an hour there. That was rather insightful. If you are someone who wants to get a spotlight on YouTube like this, or you want to get a spotlight on our X Spaces, I'd love to interview you, or I'd love to give you a spotlight on the spaces. So hit me up anytime. Dan is Driven on X, and we'll see you guys in another upload. Bye-bye.